So I have an alternate team total here.
Okay.
And I took the Las Vegas Raiders under 14.5 points.
Okay.
That is plus 136.
I
You want to talk about calling the bank, Kyle. 14.5? You're telling me the Raiders are going to score 17? What are they going to? How are they going to get there?
I wish I hadn't seen some of these Bo Nix interceptions.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's the only reason I think it's plus money and that it can be done. I am going to go in a similar way, a little bit more plus. I really like the Broncos here. I think this is the like, oh, okay, the Raiders are a really, really bad team. That Baltimore game was just BS. Those games happen all the time. Like, I forget who it was who like beat the Colts when the Colts were supposed to be good with like Phillip Rivers week 1, and then they like went 1-15. Like, like sometimes just a bad team, just it happens to they get a win. So I'm taking alternate spread. I will take the Broncos up to -6.5. And that will get me to plus 164.
Yeah. If you're a real man, you'd take a -9.5, but I don't disagree.
I wanted under a touchdown because of our offensive struggles that we've detailed here. But I think this is a Broncos touchdown win here. Also, it should go, we meant to touch on this earlier, but every week I've picked the Broncos, they've lost, and every week I've picked against the Broncos, they have won. So this is the litmus test for this. If the Broncos lose this game, I will never pick the Broncos to win a game the rest of the season. That is my promise to the podcast. I'll still give honest analysis so you can tell when I would pick the Broncos, but I will do my part as a fan if they lose this game. But I think they're all right here. The kids are all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I like the under a touchdown, but if you had some real cojones, 9.5 is just sitting right there for you. I am going to go back to the well here. It's probably been my favorite bet of the Broncos season, and I'm going to take Bo Nix to have over longest rush 10.5 yards. He ran for 10 tantalizing yards last week, which was a devastating loss for me. But he loves to scramble, and if Crosby is out there, he might have to. And it's just a great, we're going to be in third down and long. We are. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's
to the sticks.
Yes, exactly. And he will take a hit. He'll do some dumb shit to get there. So
yeah. He's fired up. He's putting the ball out in front.
Yeah. He's doing stuff. He's doing a lot out there. So it is -115.
Yeah, I like
you're paying a little bit of juice, but
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Also, it bears repeating that this Raiders team is kind of stupid on defense. So there's a good chance that someone will go to a wrong spot and just leave a wide open gap or something.
I watched some of the game tonight, the Bucks Atlanta game on the all 22 version on Next Gen.
Yeah. I was enjoying that.
And I was really enjoying it too. And there was a scramble by Baker that was just 25 yards down, and it was like the Madden play that you used to be able to run with Michael Vick, where you just ran everybody to the other side of the field and just
rolled out
everybody on the other side. It was like exactly that, and I could just see something like that opening up for next year.
Yeah. They do a lot of rollouts with him, a lot of stuff like that, where I think there's run options. They want to give him the opportunity. I don't hate it at all. My next one, really my last two, they're ugly, but the time has come, Ryan, for me to fade Patrick Mahomes, as I do every year, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, I was going to say, this might
listeners should know it's usually unsuccessfully. This Chiefs team sucks. They're not good. they could be winless right now, and they just lost their only wide receiver who's consistent at all. They still are relying on a guy they got off waivers in Kareem Hunt at running back. I think anything over a field goal against an NFL team not named like the Titans right
Panthers.
now. I don't know. I think I'd take the Red Rocket for this. Like, they can't score. Like, they're getting 5.5.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
That means a lot considering I started Andy Dalton.
I love that. I love that, dude. Hey, you know what? I think he could have even more points, right?
Thanks. I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
Throw for a 500 piece, Andy. Hit.
Yeah. And 4 touchdowns. But no picks. Yeah, I just think that 5.5 for this Chiefs team is too much. So I'm going to take the Saints. The Saints, obviously, they lost a heartbreaker. I think their defense, the Saints' defense is unreal good.
I think the Saints are kind of good.
Yeah, and I think that
this is probably one where if you're betting this in real life, you should put some on the money line for the Saints.
Yeah. It falls in that zone of the like 5.5, 6.5. And let me double check here. It is minus 105 for plus 5.5. And money line, if you want to sprinkle it, plus 205. So yeah. I think the Chiefs shouldn't be favored by this much versus any team that has won a game.
They don't
in the
have
NFL.
any skill position outside of Kelsey.
No.
So I think that's a great pick. Are the Chiefs at home?
They're at home.
Yeah.
And it's Monday night.
Yeah. That's why it's 5.5. But I agree with you. I think there's a real money line play there.
Yeah.
And they can't let that get to 6, right? Because then you could tease it. Yeah. If that gets into the teaser zone,
I think this is going to be a pro Joe game.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people trying to get healthy from the weekend on Chiefs money line, parlays, Chiefs teasers.
Oh, I'll just throw the Chiefs
are going to be sitting here going, why on earth would we give this team that we just watched do what they've done versus like the Falcons? Like,
who might be good, by the way. I like it. I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
You hinted at my next and last play. But I'm going to take Gardner Minshew to throw a pick here.
It's beautiful.
It's minus 135. You're paying juice, but it is well worth it. I think you could probably parlay these two quarterbacks together to each throw a pick. They're both about the same price. The Knicks is like minus 130. But yeah, everything we've already talked about with this team, I think all signs are pointed in the wrong direction. I could honestly see this like it being one of those really stupid interception where it like bounces off somebody's face mask and like the classic Dan's hit him in the wrong spot. I just wasn't it like hits the guy in the side of the helmet like a middle schooler. So yeah, I could see something stupid happening here.
I also think Gardner is like insanely accurate and insanely good if you don't pressure him and you let him make his like first or second read. I think once it gets beyond that, or if Zach Allen is barreling down upon him, we saw Kirk Cousins for his lone interception that looked like it was going to lose them the game. It was just pressure up the middle, and so he was like, crap, and threw it right to a linebacker. And I think with this too high, if you can get pressure up the middle, these quarterbacks can't see well. They can't, and there's a lot of like panic, and so I love a Gardner Minshew pick. My last one, we're staying ugly here. We're taking a team that blew it last week versus 90-year-old Joe Flacco. We're taking the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 1.5 at home versus the Cowboys. No
They're
Lawrence.
minus 1.5.
No Lawrence, no Micah Parsons.
Whoa.
This Cowboys defense is really bad. Like that Thursday night game, they made Daniel Jones look pretty good. And they couldn't stop anything. And I just think that Tomlin's really good in these spots. Tomlin less than 2 points. All this kind of stuff. It's prime time Sunday night. It's going to be a crazy crowd. I just think the Steelers are the player, and I think the Cowboys are really banged up, and this is a really bad time for them to have to play a really good defense. Who's not going to let CeeDee Lamb cook? Like the Giants couldn't guard him.
You're
so
laying
like
2.5 with Justin Fields, though.
I'm not laying 2.5. It's 1.5. But
1.5, whatever.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. That one is minus 115. It's climbing, baby.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That is ugly. You advertised it correctly.
Yeah.
The last two are just ugly.
Yeah. And I think
probably correct. I mean, often
we've
the
talked
ugliest
about
thing
this.
is the right thing. So
it's a stock market, right? Everyone watched this team lose to Joe Flacco after they just got hyped up all, with their 3-0 start. The Cowboys are a pretty public team. This is where you take Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. I mean, this Cowboys team, I agree with you that the Cowboys team is bad. And you're right. You just have to swallow the pill sometimes that when two bad teams play each other, the worst team will often get their ass kicked. So You're probably right. But I might find a prop way to attack that same sort of line of thinking as opposed to laying the...
That's the thing with the Steelers. They're so hard to figure out because their offense consists of just banging their head against the wall and then 50-yard bombs, but you never know who they're going to be too.
Yeah.
Like
longest completion.
Yeah.
There's ways,
Yeah.
I was also just thinking about betting against the Dallas offense. Like that's really, I think, how you make
unders
money.
are pretty good.
Unders on that.
And it's
Dallas.
43.5, so it's not, Dallas is.
Well, and just like, okay, what is CeeDee Lamb's over under?
Yeah.
Like that's probably the most public number total or public total in terms of a player prop. So there's I agree with the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So
look at that. We're going to go 6-0.
Agreement there.